I'm Meredith Aldis, and thanks for watching this special edition of the Fox 7 Austin CrimeWatch digital exclusive on the murder trial of Kaitlin Armstrong. Armstrong was found guilty of murdering Anna Moriah Wilson in May 2022. Armstrong was sentenced to 90 years in prison. I was provided with evidence, videos and photos from Armstrong's trial that had not been seen outside of the courtroom, evidence used that led to Armstrong's conviction. We start off with the 911 call from Anna Moriah Wilson's friend Kaitlin Cash the night of the murder. Heard on a neighbor's surveillance.
My friend is staying with me, and I just walked in, and she's laying on the bathroom floor, and there's blood everywhere. And I don't know what happened.
Kaitlin Cash walked into a murder scene. Her friend, Anna Moriah Wilson, lying on the ground, not breathing.
Just pump hard and fast and then count out loud so I can count with you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Good.
Cash performed CPR for more than 5 minutes until EMS and police arrived.
Yes, they're here.
Okay, I'll let you go so you can talk to them, okay?
Wilson had been shot multiple times. Wilson was visiting from California, staying in this East Austin home. She was a professional cyclist preparing for an upcoming race nearby. Earlier in the day, she reconnected with a fellow professional cyclist.
She was with her friend Colin. Colin Strickland.
Colin Strickland?
Strickland, yeah. She went swimming. I left to go have dinner with my friends, and then I came back. And this is my house.
That's your house?
This is my house. She's staying with me.
Cash told Austin police investigators one item was missing, Wilson's bike.
I mean, it would be right inside the door.
Is there a bike?
1708.
Anywhere? You see a bike?
While a detective was taping off the area,
Hey, come here. Somebody might be in here. This might be the bike.
at this point, they didn't know how the bike got there or who was responsible for moving it. How Kaitlin Armstrong became connected to this evidence is what detectives determined in the next few days before she fled the country. You just heard part of the 911 call Anna Moriah Wilson's friend Kaitlin Cash made when she found Wilson shot lying on the ground. Cash mentioned that Wilson was with their friend Colin Strickland. Now you'll see text messages between Strickland and Wilson, as well as the body camera footage from the Austin Police Department showing investigators talking with Strickland and his reaction to the news of Wilson's death.
There's really no easy way to say this, sir. So apparently last night she passed away.
A stunned Colin Strickland after investigators told him the woman he spent most of the day before with was now dead.
Right now it's an open investigation, but it is being investigated as a homicide.
On May 11th, 2022, Anna Moriah Wilson and Strickland texted back and forth about meeting up. Wilson saying, "Do you have plans tonight?" Professional cyclist Wilson was in town for a race nearby. Strickland, also a professional cyclist, lived in South Austin. Strickland replying, saying, "Want to go swimming? Maybe swimming and a beverage?" Wilson responding, "Sounds great." Once Wilson finished with her ride that afternoon, Strickland picked her up from her friend's house she was staying at. They rode on his motorcycle to the Deep Eddy pool. They're then seen on surveillance footage eating at Pool Burger. Strickland told investigators this wasn't a date. They were only friends, though they did have a brief romantic relationship in the past. Strickland was currently dating Kaitlin Armstrong, a realtor and yoga instructor. She's confronted Strickland about communicating with other women before, including Wilson. Armstrong texting Strickland, "I know you know better than to show up at Meteor with that girl." Back in 2021, she even called Wilson, warning her to back off. Colin texting Armstrong, "Did you call Mo?" Strickland says he didn't tell Armstrong about the plans he had with Wilson that day and made up an alibi. That evening, he dropped Wilson off at her friend's house. He got home, tried to get a hold of Armstrong, but couldn't, so he started prepping his bike for the upcoming race. He says Armstrong eventually came home in her black Jeep and everything seemed normal. The next day, Armstrong was brought in for questioning. Now you've heard the 911 call from Kaitlin Cash, who found her friend shot, seen the body camera footage of the crime scene, and the reaction from Colin Strickland, the man who spent the day with Anna Moriah Wilson, when police tell him Wilson's now dead. Here's when police bring Strickland's girlfriend, Kaitlin Armstrong, in for questioning.
Sit right here in this chair, and someone will be with you. Do you need a water or anything?
That would be lovely, thank you.
Okay, all right.
Kaitlin Armstrong sitting down to be questioned at Austin Police Headquarters the day after Anna Moriah Wilson was killed in East Austin.
You're here for a warrant right now, I guess. Are you familiar with what you have going on with that?
I have no idea.
Armstrong had a warrant out for her arrest for a misdemeanor, a theft of service charge.
If I have an existing warrant and you don't know what it's about, do I need an attorney here?
Armstrong apparently failed to pay for Botox in 2018.
Apparently that warrant, the date of birth was wrong. So it had your name, but the date of birth is wrong, so it's to a different person. So you're not under arrest, okay?
She was told she was free to leave.
I would love to leave.
You would love to leave?
Just arrested me in front of my house, in front of all of my neighbors, and carried me in here in handcuffs in front of downtown Austin. It was incredibly
I can only
humiliating.
imagine, yeah, and I'm so sorry.
Meanwhile, back at Armstrong and Strickland's house, detectives issued and executed a search warrant, looking through the home in Armstrong's black Jeep. They found a Texas license plate, a passport card belonging to Armstrong's sister, foreign currency, and 2 9mm handguns.
And I would like to leave.
She didn't leave immediately, though. Not until the investigator revealed information that linked her to the murder.
Your vehicle was seen next to her house.
I would like to leave if I'm free to leave.
Armstrong walked out and prepared to leave town.
She probably knew they had a lot of information on her, where she suddenly sold her asset, and she was able to get cash within 24 hours of $12,200.
She sold her black Jeep for cash. Then she's seen on surveillance at ABIA.
And then she departed on that flight to Houston Hobby and on to New York LaGuardia.
Back in Austin, evidence collected at the home was being tested for a possible connection to Armstrong.
2 handguns were seized. On May 17, 2022, the Austin Police Department's ballistic unit positively identified one of those handguns as the handgun that fired the spent cartridge cases on Wilson's murder. That same day, a municipal court judge issued a warrant for Armstrong's arrest for the offense of murder.
But Armstrong was long gone, and the worldwide search for her began. At this point, investigators have linked Kaitlin Armstrong to the murder, and a warrant for her arrest has been issued, but she's nowhere to be found. U.S. Marshals tracked Armstrong after she fled the country and tried to change her appearance to avoid capture.
She could be anywhere.
Surveillance shows Kaitlin Armstrong at ABIA boarding a flight to Houston and on to New York. From there,
Did she leave from that airport and get picked up by someone else to be deceptive by the individual that provided transportation, or did she board a flight? If she boarded a flight, how did she board a flight? Because we feel that we've conducted a strong investigation and there are no outbound flights registered under the name of Kaitlin Armstrong.
That's because she used her brunette, New York-based sister's passport and flew to Costa Rica. The hunt now on. U.S. Marshals working with local authorities focused on the bus Armstrong took from the airport and how she moved around the country.
They had a small paper trail that was leading down the road
to Santa Teresa Beach.
They were able to kind of narrow in that vicinity and just conduct surveillance.
But they didn't know they were looking for someone who looked different now, more like her sister.
We knew she was going to be associated with some type of yoga studio.
Like Don John's Surf and Yoga Lodge.
When those foreign officials arrived at that yoga studio, they did find a handwritten login that was the same alias that she was going by when she traveled to Costa Rica. So once they developed that pattern, it really opened up things and really quickly closed in.
The 43-day manhunt coming to an end.
She cut her hair about shoulder length. It's a little uneven on sides. And she also dyed her hair to a darker brown color. And we were also told that she had some type of bandage over her nose area, where she claimed that she had gotten into a surfboard incident.
Found in her belongings a receipt for cosmetic surgery under the name Allison Page, her sister's passport stamped, and her own passport with no stamp. Costa Rican law enforcement arrested her. She denied her identity until she was back at the airport, being sent back to Texas. Officials keeping a close eye on her until this. U.S. Marshals tracked Kaitlin Armstrong to Costa Rica, and she was brought back to Texas. Just days before her trial was set to begin, Armstrong tries to avoid prison time again.
Ms. Armstrong wants her day in court. She wants a trial.
19 days before her trial began, a short-lived race for freedom was caught on camera. Travis County Sheriff's Office corrections officers were supposed to escort Armstrong from a doctor's appointment in South Austin back to the correction complex. But Armstrong had other plans and darted as they left the doctor's office. The chase lasted about 10 minutes before she was caught, taken back to jail, and eventually brought into the courtroom.
We're going to ask you to find Kaitlin Armstrong guilty of murdering Mo Wilson.
How do you plead?
But the text messages, GPS tracking data, and surveillance footage putting her black Jeep at the scene of the crime, and DNA evidence.
Very strong likelihood that the DNA on the handlebars included DNA from Kaitlin Armstrong.
Led to Armstrong's conviction of murder.
This court hereby sentences you to 90 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice and a $10,000 fine.
The woman who first found Wilson after she had been shot, leaving Armstrong with a message.
I'm angry at you, at the utter tragic nature, at the senselessness, at not being able to hear Mo's voice again. I'll forever be honored to have known her, to have held her as a close friend, both in life and in death. And I'll have to continue seeking out ways to honor her legacy.
Armstrong maintains her innocence, appealing her conviction. She claims she had ineffective assistance of counsel.
I pray for your healing. The only way that can begin is to admit your guilt, own your actions, and seek forgiveness. I'm not sure if my words can penetrate your heart, but I'm gonna try. I hate what you did to my beautiful daughter. It was very selfish and cowardly. When you shot Moriah in the heart, you shot me in my heart. You shot Eric and Matt in their hearts. You shot Moriah's cousins and aunts and uncles, and all the people who loved her, pierced their hearts.
Kaitlin Armstrong has been in prison now for a little over a year. Under current Texas law, she'll be eligible for parole after 30 years. Armstrong has made several requests for a new trial, but so far all have been denied. The family of Moriah Wilson has also filed lawsuits against Armstrong, including a wrongful death one in which Armstrong was ordered to pay $15 million to the family. For more on Kaitlin Armstrong and to see the full evidence videos, you can head to our website, fox7austin.com, and click on the CrimeWatch section at the top of the page. Make sure to check out my other CrimeWatch stories. Remember, those stories run each Monday on Fox 7 Austin News at 9. You can watch on our local Fox mobile and connected TV apps. They're free to download. You can watch on your phone as well as multiple platforms like Roku and Apple TV. Thank you for watching this special edition of Fox 7 Austin CrimeWatch digital exclusive on the murder trial of Kaitlin Armstrong. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fox 7 Austin YouTube channel.